She finds the best stuff on YouTube. Well, she communicates with people who've passed on, and she says you shouldn't be afraid or surprised if you think spirits are trying to communicate with you as well. Reverend Roby Warren has written a new book, Understanding and Guiding Your Psychic Child. She joins us this morning. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much, Greg.
All right, Halloween is almost here, but
yes.
Unlike Halloween, you say these spirits are very, very real.
Spirits are very real. Our culture doesn't really teach us much about death and dying, but it's a very common experience. In fact, the AARP took a poll that said 74% of American people over the age of 50 believe in life after death, and 1/3 of Americans believe in ghosts.
A lot different than, say, 20 years ago, when I bet those statistics would have been a lot different. You're much like a John Edward, a Sylvia Brown, or James Von Prague. You do readings, and you're also a trans medium as well, right?
Yes.
And when did you realize that you had this gift?
When I was 5.
Wow.
Whenever I would go to bed, there would be a bunch of dead people around my bed, all trying to talk to me at once, and I was scared almost to death. So I didn't know.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was terrifying. And I didn't know that it was me. I thought anybody in that room at the same time would have been seeing and experiencing the same thing. So
wow.
It wasn't until I was 16 where I actually told my mother, and she was very wise, and she got me to some experts, and I've been cultivating and training and developing that skill ever since.
So you've been communicating with spirits ever since you were 5 years old?
Well, I started yes, I've been seeing them since 5, and I actually started professionally working over 25 years ago.
All right, and you say these spirits aren't around us to harm us.
No.
These are, for the most part, friendly spirits, and you say just the opposite. We shouldn't be afraid of them. We should actually welcome them.
Yes, in fact, most of the spirits around us are people or loved ones that we've known in this lifetime who have crossed over and passed on. Every now and then there is a spirit that was attached to a location, but we, being in physical bodies, do have power and dominion over them, and we can talk to them, we can ask them to leave, and there is no reason to be afraid. It's a very, very rare, unusual occurrence if they ever do anybody harm.
What if there are, little children out there like you once were,
yes.
At 5 or 6 or 7 years old? I mean, what do you say to them? What do you say to their parents?
It's really important for parents to understand that children especially are wide open. They come into this world with all of their senses very heightened, and they are not conditioned yet to not believe what they see or feel or hear. So parents, it's very important to listen to what your children are saying. Don't discourage them. Oftentimes imaginary friends aren't necessarily imaginary. And just maybe ask them questions. Engage in a conversation. Get them to speak more about what they're sensing or feeling.
And you say often these loved ones, these spirits, leave us little clues that they're around. Like,
yes.
The song playing on the radio reminds you of,
Yes.
Aunt Jean, or they move little objects.
Yes, spirits are they want to talk to us as much as we want to talk to them. So oftentimes it's just about paying attention. Sometimes they place small objects around the house. Paper. I have one client who her father puts paper clips all over the place in her world. Sometimes it's coins. Sometimes the phone rings and there's nobody on the other end. Very, very common. Appliances will turn on and off. Lights will turn on and off, and those can be all signs that a loved one from the other side is trying to communicate with you.
Now, you've done some amazing readings, just some incredible stories for a lot of people getting these readings, and when you communicate with people on the other side, it really helps bring them closure, doesn't it?
It is the most rewarding work that I can imagine. It brings so much comfort, so much peace of mind, so much closure. Our culture really doesn't teach us about death and dying, and how many of us want to know that our loved ones weren't in pain or didn't suffer at the end of their life, or how many of us want to have a final communication where we didn't get to say everything we wanted to say. And it's just comforting to know that they're still with us, they still see us, they still hear us. I've done thousands of readings, and I just know it to be so.
And if people want to meet you, there's a great chance tonight, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, thank you. Messages with Love from the Other Side at the Celebration Center for Spiritual Living at 7 o'clock tonight at 5820 Oberlin Drive. And we do those reading. I do those open nights, two nights a month, the second and fourth Wednesday of every month.
Perfect.
Yes.
Reverend Roby Warren, great chance to meet you tonight.
Greg,
in Mira
thank
Mesa.
you. Thanks
for
so
being
much.
with us.
Yes, yes, thank you.
And of course, for more information, go to our website, SanDiego6.com. Up next, a big helping of healing. We're going to learn how good nutrition can help keep you healthy mentally and physically. That's when SDL comes right back.